So you've hit 30k a month with your e-commerce business. Congrats. You've clearly shown that your store can convert, but now this is so easy to plateau at this stage because you're still the one doing everything and there's no machine behind your business. It's all up to you to keep it running. So today I'll show you the 7 e-commerce hacks that I learnt to get me to £1.3 million in sales. It's allowed me to run on my business now for an hour or less a day, and it means I can live in places like this in Bali, and I've also been around the world to Vietnam and Spain and other countries like that. And I can do that now with the business running without me. So let's dive into cheat code number 1. The first hack I wish I'd learned sooner was to hire before it hurts. Because most people will get to a point where they're drowning in tasks before they hire and bring somebody on board. And I was certainly in this position myself. I was working for 12 months when I first started my e-commerce business, taking all the calls, answering all the live chats, fulfilling all the orders myself. And it got me to a point where I was starting to feel overwhelmed, burnt out with the amount of orders that were coming in. And I didn't realise that I need to take a step away in order to scale because I was becoming the bottleneck to that business. It's because I didn't want to let go of control. It's because I didn't think anyone could do as good a job as me. And I was so wrong. I wish I'd done it way earlier. When you're at 30k a month, you can definitely hire at least one virtual assistant. So get those people on board quickly so you can scale. Your next question is probably, what do I hire first? It's most likely going to be customer service. But if you want to speak to me directly about how we can implement these hacks into your business, then book a call with the first link in the description. But hiring before it hurts is key to stop plateauing and stop your growth slowing down. The hack I wish I'd learned sooner is that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you will fall to the level of your systems. So it's not about setting the biggest goals and chasing that. It's about building your systems so that they don't break at scale. You need your business to be a machine, so it defaults to providing an excellent customer experience, and it defaults to looking after your customers, generating more sales without needing you to be constantly bringing energy every single day to generate those things. Systemizing your business means that your business will default to excellence even when you're not around. So if you still feel like you're at the stage where you're winging it, eventually things will break at scale. Okay, now on to cheat code number 3 that I wish I knew earlier, and I see way too many people get this wrong for too long, and that's not knowing your numbers. You need to understand the most important metric in your business and track that so you can scale based on accurate decision making. So when you're at 30k a month, there'll be lots of data coming into your business, and if you go to analytics, if you go to Google Ads, you can easily become overwhelmed with all the data points that are being thrown your way. You need to be able to decipher through that data, understand the most important metrics to your business, and just focus on scaling based on those metrics. So when you're at 30k a month, the most important one, depending on where you get your sales from, is most likely paid ads. Therefore, your paid ads metric, so your return on ad spend, is going to be crucial to whether you can scale that paid ads or not. Also, keep an eye on the bigger picture as well in terms of what's your average order value. Is that going down? Can you increase that? How much are you making per customer over the customer's lifetime? And also other indicating factors around your Shopify conversion rate. All important metrics that you need to start tracking, but not getting lost in the weeds with all of the different metrics that Google's trying to throw at you. So have a real clear idea on your numbers, and you'll be able to scale based on informed and accurate decisions. So it's a huge one. Understand what your break-even ROAS is, understand what your target ROAS is that you need to be achieving to make good profitable money, understand what your most profitable ad campaigns are so you can scale those. Have a real idea and a top-down view as a business owner. Now the best way that I do this is by getting my virtual assistants to create a weekly dashboard for me, and they'll pull all the data and put it into one place, so every Monday I can come in and look at how the business is performing. And I can do that for you if you want me to help you with that. But I think it's an absolute no-brainer, because if you don't have a way to get a quick finger on the pulse of your business health, then there's no way that you can scale that business. The next cheat code now, number 4, is to be absolutely ruthless with taking yourself away from the day-to-day tasks. And by that, I mean every single day, starting to be intentional with how you're spending your time working on your business and thinking about every task that you're doing through the lens of, is this growing the business, or is this actually something that somebody else can do, not just to take you away, but can somebody else do this better if that was their chief focus all day? So things like customer service, order fulfillment, and the different admin tasks like saving invoices and those sort of things. These are the first tasks that should absolutely be given away. Now, to give these tasks away and get them done to a high standard without you being there, we need to start putting them into processes, because every single task that you take as part of your business is part of an overall bigger machine, and every small task is part of a list of tasks that make up a checklist for how to complete a task. So, for example, every time you pay a supplier, that is part of your order fulfillment SOP that can be turned into a bullet point list of all of the actions you take to fulfill that order. Now, to get rid of this and to take these tasks off your plate so you can focus on the most important things, we need to start recording ourselves doing those tasks, start to finish, then using the transcript of that recording to turn it into an SOP, which is a standard operating procedure, and then we give those SOPs to our VAs to the point where your VAs will turn around and say to you, they feel like they've been spending days with you because they're watching that many videos of how to complete every action in your business. And it's absolute magic at work once you get this to happen. Once you get your VA to turn around and tell you that they feel like they've spent a weekend with you, you know you're doing it right because you're giving away tasks and they know exactly how to do them because they've got videos to follow as they do them all. Now that ties nicely onto cheat code number 5. So similar to starting to get intentional and give things away, I alluded to this one in the last one. We need to understand that actually cheat code number 5 is that every single action you take is part of a bigger machine. Because it's easy to think, oh, I just send a message to respond to a live chat from a customer and that's just a quick one-off task. Or maybe you're adding the tracking info to an order in Shopify so that gets sent to your customer. And it feels like these are all little bitty tasks. But really, you need to start looking through the lens and understanding that every single task that you take around your business is part of a wider system or a wider process. And that process is part of a wider process again. And when you think in this hierarchy, you realise that every single task that you take needs to be put into its and put into its process. And therefore you can start to give away these tasks. So you need to stop thinking, oh, there's just this is just a quick one-off message, or this is just answering one phone call, and understand that everything comes as part of an actual process. That means your whole business is a full set of processes, and when you've got it to a point where your business and you understand and you've written down all of the processes in your business, that's when it can be outsourced and that's when it can be scaled because somebody else can do it. And this is how you turn your business into a sellable asset. Because it's a systems, it's a series of systems rather than just tasks that you know how to do as a business owner. So start viewing your business as every single task is part of a bigger one, and you'll start thinking as a business owner and start creating a scalable asset. Now on to cheat code number 6, and this is something that took me too long to learn, so I'm going to teach you as a quick shortcut now, and that is we need to start reflecting on how we're actually spending our time. So I talked before about being intentional and looking through the lens of every task that you're doing, but we actually need to start taking a step back from the day-to-day to reflect on how we're spending our time as a business owner. And this can be so difficult to do. It sounds easy, but it can be so difficult to do because we get lost in the weeds of the day-to-day of running a business because there's plenty to do, plenty on the to-do list, and by the time you finish your to-do list, you just want to go to bed and get on, or come back to it the next day and start working again. But if you never take the time to reflect, you'll always be in reactive mode and you'll always just do the thing that sounds like the most urgent thing in the moment instead of doing the thing that actually makes the biggest difference to growing your business. So what I do is I use my planner and I will have my it's like a journal, it's a legend planner you can get from Amazon, but I use it because I can write down what my most important tasks are. And I also can write down the to-do list and the things that I've been doing that day. And it allows me to reflect and look at, am I spending my time on the things that truly make the difference? Or, which is so easy to be done, is the opposite, is am I getting pulled away and just doing busy work and not doing the things that really move the needle? So start reflecting, and I do this every day at the end of each day, but you can do it at the end of each week, whatever feels natural to you, but start reflecting on how you're spending your time as the business owner. To help you with this task, I've actually created a task audit sheet that's really simple for you to start auditing and reflecting on how you're spending your time. So if you send me a message on Instagram, I'll send that over to you and I'll help you to put this into your business. Now the 7th and final cheat code that I wish I learned earlier is that you should become a delegation machine and that it can be more simple than you probably make it out to be. There's only 4 steps to start delegating and outsourcing tasks. That is, open a Google Doc, write a bullet point list of tasks for that process, record yourself going through those tasks, and then save it in the relevant folder in Google Drive. And that's it. You can now delegate like a pro. You're systemizing your business, you're writing things down, you're getting it actionable, you've got videos for people to follow, and suddenly you've got a business that can be outsourced and can be sold down the line. So it's an exciting process. It's one that you have to be proactive to do and not just reacting and in the weeds every single day to do it. But once you do it, you get yourself to a point where you can work on your business less than an hour a day because it's all systemized and it can be outsourced, and you can just scale the business without having to do all of the day-to-day tasks. To recap back through that list of 7, firstly we had hire before it hurts. Then you need to remember that you fall to your level of your systems, you don't rise to the level of your goals. The third one was that you need to track your numbers closely. Fourth one is to outsource your daily distractions. Fifth is to see the machine behind the task. Sixth is to be intentional and reflect on how you're spending your time. And the seventh one was to delegate with videos and checklists. And when you apply these cheat codes, even just like 3 out of these 7 cheat codes, you will be systemizing your business, you'll be getting it set up to scale, and it will take you from that 30k a month to 100k a month. I guarantee it, because I've been through that process, and it is this simple way, and it is the only way that you'll ever be able to scale, is once you've got systems in place, because you can't just wing it. You won't scale if you just try and wing it. So it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter to get past this point in your business. It's about getting systems in place, the right people in place, and you can start to outsource while you focus on just growing the business rather than getting bogged down in the day-to-day tasks. So hope you've enjoyed the video today. Subscribe if you want more videos like this of how to systemize and scale your e-commerce business, and send me a message on Instagram if you'd like those resources that I've talked about today. So with that said, enjoy the rest of your day, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.